We are often confused between several terms that catch our attention. These terms can spell the same or mean the same. Knowledge is important, but skill is the necessary as it is to see the fundamental art of survival. Knowledge is defined as the process of having an understanding of something, an object, through watching, through listening. Skill is acquired through regular practice. A very good afternoon to one and all. Yes, today our Futuristic web series 31st episode talks something about knowledge versus skill. Today, I'm delighted to we normally have a city voice their opinion on one or the other pertinent issues and enlighten the educators community, education community about the future of education. And I'm glad and honored to announce that today's city-based webinar represents the city of Gonda, where the edu leaders from Gonda would enlighten us and embrace our knowledge on this particular topic. And now, without much delay, let me quickly introduce you to our today's esteemed panelists. We have with us today Mr. Sudhir Katumala, career counselor from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham University, Amritapuri campus. The web series, I must tell you, is a collaborative initiative between Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham and Edudevs School of Inspired Teaching and Learning. We welcome you, Mr. Sudhir. Let us welcome today Miss Reena Tiwari, Principal, Suwan's Millennium School Public School, Honda. Welcome, Ms. Tiwari, to today's episode. Hello, ma'am. And we have with us Dr. Parminder Sandhu, Principal, St. Xavier Senior Secondary School, Gonda. Welcome everyone to today's webisode, and we are all very excited to hear what insights you bring on the table. You see, all these issues that we take up on these web series are documented. If you go to log into Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham's official site on the Futuristic Education, you would see all the documented deliberations that happen on these webisodes. I am extremely exhilarated to introduce you to, yes, the most dynamic young panel of today of our students. We have with them Divyanshu Gupta, who is from class 12th, captain, she's the school's captain of Suvan's Millennium Public School, Gonda. Welcome, Divyanshi. And so sorry, it's not Divyanshu, it's Divyanshi Gupta, class 12 captain. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. We also have the head boy of Suvan's Millennium Public School, Gonda, Trishir Tripathi.
Good evening, ma'am.
Welcome, Trishir. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Now, let me introduce you to our other young panelists. We have with us Piyush Singh, again a student of class 12, St. Xavier St. Xavier Senior Secondary School, Gonda. Welcome, Piyush.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We look forward to hearing you. And we have Sakshi Pandey, class 12, St. Xavier Senior Secondary School, Gonda.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. There is written SPL, and I wanted to know, what does the SPL stands for?
I'm school pupil leader.
Wow, they are school pupil leaders. They are, as it is, leaders of tomorrow. Welcome you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Tell me, and I forget. Show me, and I may remember. Involve me, and I will understand. A quote by Zhong Kuang. About circa 300, 350, 320 BC, philosophers then realized and praised this importance of the skill-based learning. Although the term wasn't coined then, the importance of hands-on learning experience, skill-based education was already set in. This is a Chinese proverb, but we have as an example our Gurukula system, which was completely rooted into hands-on learning experiences. Before we begin today's webinar, I would like to take you through the flow of the webinar. We will have an ice-breaking question that will be same question, and we take the perspectives of different panelists, followed by each particular question addressed to one particular panelist, and the time limit for that is about 5 minutes. For the ice-breaking round, you have about 2 minutes to express your thoughts very briefly. So let us quickly begin with the icebreaker, and I would like the panelists to continue in the order of their introduction. So to begin with, Mr. Sudhir, followed by Ms. Reena Tiwari, and then Dr. Parminder. And of course, we will have interjections of our student panelists timing on. My question to the panelists is, we've been talking about the knowledge skill, as the name of the webinar suggests. Along with the difference, I would just like you to let us also know what is the importance of each. what is the basic difference, but along with that, which is more important. Yes, Mr. Sudhir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful stage you have given us to know about, or at least learn about, and at least tell what we know about knowledge and skills based on our experience. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you all the students for eagerly waiting. And to give a brief about this knowledge and skills, I will say they are the twin cornerstones of effective education. Why it is? Because ultimately knowledge and skills both are essential foundations in this current education scenario we are in currently, because the challenges students faces today and the ambitions which they have, they require both. Student cannot develop skills in a vacuum or something. And main thing is knowledge gives them a foundation to learn skills. So they require opportunity, they require space and time to practice the skills by the knowledge they acquired through academics. So I think both are required in this 21st century. But to give an example, I will just quote some four names. The 21st century entrepreneurs, everybody know this: Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. Do you think these people are successful because of just the skills or the knowledge? If you can think, they have the knowledge in that domain and they use their skills to become successful. So I feel both are essential and important in current day scenario, and it's the pedagogy which we use in schools that matters the most in integrating these things effectively. That's what my answer is.
Great. Thank you so much. I think very well said that even I feel that it is a happy amalgamation of knowledge and skills that is going to be the order of the 21st century, because basic edifice of knowledge is definitely required to build upon the skills. Thank you so much, Mr. Sun. We shall come back to you. Yes, Ms. Neema, what is your take on this?
See, hi. First of all, very good afternoon to everyone. You, ma'am, and all the panelists, all the speakers, my students. See, what I feel, learning is the acquisition of knowledge, and skill comes from skill. So, knowledge is theoretical, skill is so
Ma'am,
until
your voice is breaking. I think something is.
now. Is it clear now?
It is clear, but there's a background. Yeah.
Just a minute, ma'am.
Sure, we'll move on to Dr. Parminder and then come back to Ms. Reena. Yes, Dr. Parminder.
As first of all, good afternoon to everyone. And it's a wonderful platform where we have an opportunity to share our ideas. First of all, I would like to make it very clear, none of us are going to speak anything new. We are just going to share our mindset, the requirement of the day, which we feel that it's a requirement of the hour. Why this NEP system came up, why we are all of a sudden thinking of putting skills into knowledge and knowledge into skills. This is both correlated word. No skill is complete without knowledge, and knowledge is also incomplete without a proper skill. I too agree with Sudhir sir. I will cite another very good example. Everyone is aware of him, the company which is called Haldiram.
Yes.
Haldiram, I think in India is a very common brand. One or the other time of the day, we have definitely tasted their snacks or whatever it is. And Haldiram, the old gentleman, he had a very small stall, not even with a proper shelter, not even with a proper roof. He had a very small, roadside. He had a counter where he used to sell roasted grains, grains and all those things, which we call bhujia in Indian language, vernacular language. We call bhujia. And then he had a proper knowledge of how to make it, how to conserve it, how to pack it, how to sell it. And all his knowledge he used in his skills. And then he is a brand today. So if you go behind the success story of many people, I could have cited many more examples, but since Haldiram is a very common name for all of us, so I've cited this particular example. So education without our hands on it. Nowadays, what we have started actually taking the children to the ground, taking to the proper place, let them understand what is post office about, what is railway station about, what is garden about, how are the animals kept. So this skills we are trying to bring the children very close with their knowledge, which is already given, and with the actual nature, so that they learn things on it. As Sudhir sir has said, I'm going to repeat the same thing. And it is, we want that the child, right from the home, when the child is at home, with a very protected environment with his parents, and then to the primary schools, then to the middle schools, secondary schools, so step by step. No, we want that our Indian education system had been such that we were the masters, we were considered to be the masters of knowledge everywhere. But when the census counting was going on, when the calculation was going on, our education system lagged behind, because we were not ready to come out of our comfort zone and put our education into our skills. So this skill education, along with clubbing with the proper knowledge, has become a very important need of the hour. This is what I feel, ma'am. I'm
Right.
sure
And thank you so much, Dr. Parminder. I mean, like, because these are the success stories, you know, are quite inspirational and quite motivating, that, as you said in the beginning, that there is nothing new, whether we see I quoted the Chinese proverb, or whether we see the Gurukul system, the importance of skills has been ever through. But somewhere in between, you know, we lost the skill under, say, when we were under the dominance of the Raj, because probably the culture required a category of you know, individuals, and a category to cater to the needs of the government. So that was a time, little dark area, but definitely skills blended with the knowledge and the right. But today we have other challenges, which we will be talking about during the course of the webinar. Let me move on to Miss Reena. I think that she's there back. Yes,
Yeah.
Miss Reena.
I think Sudhir sir and said the same. I will say that knowledge is very, very important when we talk in terms of skill. Because unless we have the knowledge, transform into skill. And ma'am gave the example of Vidya. I'm telling you, ice cream. I think we had 40 ice cream. So when a person was selling ice cream, the last spoon, it was over. The person asked, "Is a spoon?" One of the took a biscuit and gave to that person. Other person was standing there, and he saw it can be used that ice cream in the same way he transformed his things into, he made a cone of ice cream. So skill is very, very important, but without knowledge it cannot.
Yeah. So that means we all are on the same page, that knowledge, and there has to be a beautiful amalgamation of knowledge and skill to carve out our own success stories. I shall come to the student panel list, but before that, I would like to go to Dr. Parminder. And meanwhile, Ms. if you could again check, because there's something, either there is some object that is moving when you speak. There's something.
Is
The
it
voice
okay?
is cracking.
Is it okay?
It is cracking in between.
I don't know. I'm in this whole place. There is no voice at all now.
Okay, no problem, Michelle. Dr. Parminder, see, knowledge is actually easy to impart when we talk about, let's take the teacher's perspective, and it is very easy to impart. It is, as we say, you know, the knowledge relies more on lecture, textbook, methods, you know, gathering and absorbing information. So it is considerably an easy, a low-hanging fruit, an easy recourse to, learning or maybe teaching. But when we talk to acquire skills, certain mindset and aptitude is required, number one, by each pupil, and the readiness by each educator to curate differential learning techniques or teaching techniques. So how can a teacher ensure that all students would acquire the same skill or the differential skills? So, the practical aspect, now that we are talking, that is why these webinars, are very popular, because we take live examples that. So how can a teacher ensure that all students would be having the same skills? Or what other biomedia she or he will use?
See, ma'am, first of all, when it comes to teaching through skills or hand-on education, a teacher has to be very innovative. There's no doubt about it that we have to become, we all teachers, because basically we all are teachers. And I believe that we all has to come out of our comfort zone, going to the class with the ready-made lectures, giving them notes, explaining them whatever is written in the book, making them write down the answers, making them learn, making them sit for the examination, going. This has become something very old. This is now getting completely out of box. Now everything is conceptual based. Now, what the thing is, there's an old, very old story. There was a tree and an elephant, a camel, a squirrel, a tiger, all were asked to get up on the tree, and they were supposed to be marked. So this was not correct. This is what was happening with the Indian education system. One particular parameter, everyone was assessed on it. This cannot work. There may be a child. Suppose I'm teaching. Suppose I'm a teacher and I'm into the class and I am teaching them science. I'm just citing an example, and I want to make them understand the germination of the seed. And I have explained them all the ins and outs. That means I have given them the conceptual knowledge. And now I want them to experience that same thing into practical. I want them that seed should be sowed on, they should carry a pot, and everything has to be done in the class. So every child has a different innovative ideas. One, the idea, the basic concept can be same, but the way the child is going to implement that particular concept into practical knowledge cannot be same. And just because I have thought as a teacher one particular idea, so my idea is the best and my idea is the only one which a student needs to follow, is absolutely absurd. I remember I was once in class 6 and I was teaching them the same chapter. And I'll tell you, ma'am, to my surprise, there were children who came, few came with a small glass, some with a bowl, some with a broken pot, something, and one was carrying some other thing. Someone was carrying a small stem, palaka, small spinach leaves with them. Ma'am, I want to see how it germinates, how it grows into a tree. Some coming with rajma seeds, some coming with Bengal gram seeds. So everyone was coming with a new, and all of them wanted to see how this plant comes up, how the germination happens. So this shows that they understood that in order to grow a plant, they need some soil, some water is required, some sunlight is required, but the skill which they were using, the knowledge was same, but the skill that they were using was absolutely different. I had seen a child who brought this stem, small cutting from the money plant, and he brought only water, that my plant is going to grow in the water because it will survive. So that's what I'm saying. When you give ideas to the children, when you discuss the things with the children have their own vast, sort of imagination. So one particular skill for one particular knowledge cannot fix into it. I am totally not into agreeing that one single skill can be taught to everyone, because if I fix to my single skill, that means I am actually killing their creativity. If I want my children to have the creativity knowledge, I should give them, I'll fix up a box, because that box is a knowledge box. I'll fix up a box and then I'm going to leave them free in that box. Let the child move. The child will come out with this, for the proving the same thing, the child will come out with at least 3 to 4 different type of techniques. That means those techniques are skills. This is how the skill education grows up. So one particular skill applicable for all the 30 students in the class cannot happen. And we as a teacher, if we are having 30 different type of methods for a single question, that means 30 different type of skills, and all the 30 different type of skills has to be assessed. Just because one is right, other 29 cannot be wrong.
Right. But so what you said, definitely that, the art of differential teaching and learning, and I will soon come to Sudhir to talk about on this. But there are certain basic skills here that we are talking. We are talking about skills like communication, skills like critical analytical skills, skills like writing skills, skills like conflict resolution. These are skills which are survival. These will be going to be the survival skills in the 20. They've been ever since, but now they become more pertinent, more important to survive as in the world, because skills like learning the art of collaborating, learning the art of negotiating. So those are the skills. Do the teachers work on students to build upon? Because communication and writing skills are skills which I think have to be cultivated into the students right in the early years. And those are skills, they are common to all. So when we talk about those skills, I will move on to, of course, what you said definitely makes, and I completely agree. I'm a firm believer in Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. But let me just very quickly move to Miss Reena. Miss Reena, how in your school these skills are taken up by the educators?
Okay. See, first of all, in my school, as this skill now, this LP says right now, we have to follow certain things. I have been using since so long. Wherever I was, I have always given teacher and my students liberty to experiment. What I feel when I ask my teacher, give a task, or in a class, you make 4 groups. You give them 4 groups, you can give different tasks and see what type of innovative ideas they used to come. As ma'am said, that one experiment cannot be suited for all the kids. We have to look after what actually they want to do, what actually they want to perform. So in my school, I give teachers full liberty. They can experiment with the students. They can come up with the ideas. This is what I do.
Great. I understand. Thank you so much, Ms. Reena. Moving on to Mr. Sudhir. Hi, Sudhir. Sudhir, there are 2 things that we are talking at the same time. One is the concept of multiple intelligence, which has been established. There are visual learners, auditory learners, there are kinesthetic learners. Those are one category. The others are basic survival skills. Each of us need to communicate. Each of us need to understand the art of expressing ourselves through writing or the art of negotiation. So anyways, the question for you is that what type of teaching styles will suit all these different types of learners, like visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, or any other, to impart the right kinds of skill-based learning?
To give an example, there might be like two-centered, like it's a teacher-centered or a student-centered way of teaching styles that matters most, because according to the learners, we will categorize them into these categories. But the teaching style matters the most, where a student can understand it's an authoritative lecture. Because for example, a subject like science, I can give real life applications way more easily as a teacher, but as a subject like maths or English, it's very hard to give a real life application. So according to the subject also it matters. For example, in science, if I'm explaining a topic like pressure, I will be just giving them a basic definition of pressure is a force applied perpendicular, likewise, and a formula I can give. Or I can help them understand why you see cylindrical tankers, like oil tankers, milk tankers on the road is cylindrical in type, because the concept of pressure is used there. So making them or giving them a real life application and helping them understand them, because they are visualizing now. When I tell about oil tanker or a milk tanker, they are automatically visualizing the topic. I mean, okay, oil tanker, the liquid is stored in only cylindrical tankers because the pressure applied to this corners is less because it's in cylindrical shape. So there is a visual aid there for students to, and they think creatively also. So these kind of teaching methodology matters the most, and every learner can easily understand based on this. So as a facilitator, our style and focus on the topic and giving the real life application matters the most in terms of students learning pace or student absorbing various things in this methodology. And we can integrate, because in some topics we can't integrate a collaborative work, we can't integrate internet based work. So based on the topic, as a teacher, you need to adapt to the teaching methodology. Either it's an authoritative teaching, or either it's a student centered teaching, or making them collaborative and play. So we need to, as a teacher, we need to be more adaptable to the student requirements. Then it's easy for the students to understand whatever learning style it is there. When we are making them or giving these kind of visual aid, practical aids, it's easy for any learner to understand the applications and understand the concepts. So that's what my take on this, man. So either they can adapt this way by adapting the teacher-centered style or student-centered style, and by integrating the tools that are practically available at our disposal in real life.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sudhir. I'm sure that the teacher has to use multiple pathways to help child learn and absorb, and so that is why the teacher has to be clear on there are two things. One, profiling of the children, like whether the child is probably a visual learner or a kinesthetic learner, but also then looking at the curriculum. What what skills or what skill sets could be integrated into one particular topic. So it has to be a very, very delicate web of both the things. I think that would make the teacher's task extremely, extremely difficult. Let me quickly go on to our students and student panelists. And I would like first to talk to Divyanshi. Divyanshi, hello Divyanshi.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, so I know we are talking about knowledge and skills, and you're all in class 12, and I think very well aware about the skills, what is skill and what is knowledge and information, because you are in that grade. But do all students in your class have the same kind of communicate, they are able to communicate themselves or write in the same fashion? Or probably could you let me know about your class academic demographic profile? When I say academic demographic profile, means how is your class formulated?
Ma'am, so my respected principal has provided us with many facilities, and when it comes to communication, So actually, not all of us can communicate in the same manner, because not all of us have same skill or knowledge. All of us are having different knowledge and skills. So everybody just communicate on their basis, on the way by which they can communicate with each other.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, Piyush, we have Piyush Singh. Piyush Singh, would like to ask something to our panelists about knowledge, skills, or anything that you feel is would enhance your understanding of how I can apply the right kind of skills to achieve your goals?
A very good afternoon to ma'am, to all of you. Ma'am, my question is that like I am currently in class 12 and currently studying mathematics. Now, like currently in 2023, I have been from this school. This is to my juniors and my brother too. Like, if on the ground level, like today's school, we are going to school, just we are having a knowledge, the teacher are taking the lectures and all that kind of attitude. We are just jotting the questions again and again. My thing is that how can we just suddenly jump to something very basic that we on a grassroots we are just applying that concept in the school and bring that knowledge, muzzle with that particular skill. Like teachers should know something skill or some basic skill to start this new program of skill knowledge and navigations. How can a teacher, how can an organization can give this kind of attitude in them?
Your question is to?
Just ma'am, how like on a basic level, how can we amalgamate that particular knowledge and skill?
Your question is addressed to whom?
I would reply this. I will reply this. See, as you said regarding mathematics, right? So I'll give you an example. Suppose, as we have been since beginning, we are talking that knowledge is very, very important, right? For every skill, you should have a proper knowledge. I'm giving a small example. It is just related to mathematics. If somebody wants to, if a carpenter, if you talk about carpentry, so he should know that he should have the glimpse of like the blueprint. He should have the blueprint of it, how to do it. And if he doesn't know the knowledge, he won't be able to figure it out. So first thing is he has to have the knowledge, and then he will apply. Same way about the mathematics, you should know from the beginning. Then only you can apply it. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. And my question was to Sudhi sir.
Okay, Sudhir sir, could you expand on what Ms. Reena has said, or would you want to guide the child about his understanding?
Yeah,
How can
can you just repeat the question once? So you,
Sir,
you
my
have
basic,
a, yeah.
like I'm sitting in the class and the teacher is coming, how can he add some to his way of knowledge that there should be a proper coordination between knowledge and skill?
So how can they boost you or pump you
Yes.
some different way? See, the main thing. So if you are asking me the student perspective, first thing you need to do is you should start incorporating your learnings into a practical environment. Suppose today you learned something, but have you ever thought back and went and just mug up the formulas or concepts, or have you ever thought after going from a class where it is used actually? For example, I'll give one more science example. We use red color in stop signals. There is a scientific reason behind it. We just not, India decided red is a good color for stop. So not every country decided. There is a scientific reason here. So whenever you learned a new concept, try to integrate or incorporate into a practical learning environment. You correlate it. That's the first thing. You understand what kind of imagination or skills or thought process you are having. Then the thing is, try to establish a base model, like you develop a community around you, like a goal oriented corporation between your teacher and the student. Marks are not only your goal. Okay, you should have a project oriented approach with your teacher. I know all of you are +1, +2, you are mainly concentrated on your board exam scores, but what's your primary goal? Is just marks or is just learning subject? Okay, concept oriented knowledge. And what's your end goal? Do you want to use this mathematical knowledge to develop something? You want to become a mathematician? Just find out how many mathematicians are jobs are there is just based on research, or do mathematicians work in technology oriented domains? Okay, and for main priority thing which I tell you, you will have time after your +1 or +2 where try to do a small project or an internship, either it's a paid or unpaid, which can make you understand what skill exactly can and make you successful. Because that is the primary thing where you understand, okay, this is what I'm good at, this is the skill. I know during the class, you know, I'm good in communications, because you are only competing with the friends just around your neighborhood or just around in that city. When you are doing a work in an MNC or in a corporate world, then you understand what more you need to learn. Likewise, that's why I suggest students to give more competitive exams, then only you'll understand where you actually like. Okay, I suggest you to first have a basic approach of having more practical oriented environment. Anything you learn today, try to integrate with this practical environment, where it is used and what is the use of it, and have a goal oriented approach, not marks oriented approach just to gain marks and all. Through these learnings, try to learn something and take help of your teachers also. So that will be my suggestion to you, and automatically you know what is your skill, what is the strength you have. That is the main thing you need to know in your life. What skills you have, what skills you have. Every interviewer will ask you when you go to their room, tell me about yourself and what is your strength, what is the skill you have. Okay, so try to work on this. It's easy to identify what skill you have. I'll say I'm good at communicating, somebody will say I am very determined person. But how you come to know is through your practical work which you are trying to integrate in your day-to-day life or in your academics. Okay,
I think
Thank you, sir.
very well said, Sudhir, because I was hearing you out and I was thinking that as 2, 3 things are become very important. I mean, obviously they were important ever since, but now that national education policy, which is not a standalone document, but which is an outcome, it is embedded in the SDG goals. So it makes it mandatory. Why it has introduced vocational training, why it has created an equity between the scholastic and post-scholastic, why it has trying to make internships popularized, why they are designated credits to it. Because definitely they are trying to change the system of education, which would be more hands-on and more skill-based, to develop students with the skills that would help them survive in the 21st century. So when we talk about that, we also need to then prepare. Here, I would like to, interact with the principals when I say prepare. So, prepare the students right from the beginning, not to be just, as Sudhir rightly said, that normally when you're doing a knowledge-based curriculum, you're only competing for marks or you're competing with your peers. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, if they would not be able to display a very lofty report card, but it was all their creativity, out of the box thinking, and the skills thing. So one thing is very important, that suppose you want to be a photographer and you have an eye for it, but then you have to develop the right kinds of skills to become a photographer. If you want to become a journalist and you are a voracious reader, then there is something that needs to be embedded, and that is skill. So now my question is to Dr. Parminder. Dr. Parminder, suppose we are talking about these skills which will help children excel and these skills are definitely learned through hands-on learning, project-based, because everything is applied when you're doing a project. Can you please let all of us know that as an educator, how can they work? Like, what are those key skills that can actually be worked upon a child who is in a primary, school, then probably a child who's in a secondary? What are those skills? Those can be really focused and honed. And finally, during higher education, +2 levels. So, you have such a long experience of being a principal and educator. So you would be able to tell us that where the educators, which skills the educators need to focus on when it comes to a primary child or probably a secondary. And then I'll also rope in Miss Reena on that. Yes, Dr. Parminder.
Yes. When we talked about the primary children, when they come first to the school from the comfort zone of their family bond and all those things, so it becomes a primary duty of a teacher, especially in the Montessori school and then in the primary school, to make the child very comfortable in the school. And the comfortable level comes the more we try to enhance the confidence level of a child. When a child is developing that confidence level, the child starts interacting with his schoolmates, his classmates, his teachers, his helping staff, the bus staff, the entire person, right from the point he is leaving the house and the point he is coming back to the house in the comfort zone of his parents. The entire people, if the confidence level is grown up in the child, this growing up the confidence is also a type of skill. We need to imbibe a child that a child knows everything. He's second to no one. Whatever he's doing, we need to, even if he's doing wrong, we should at least honor the spirit with which the child is doing. Because the NEP policy says that no child is wrong. Every child has his own vision to see a thing. We need to understand his or her vision. This is very important. Now there's an answer to something. Suppose there's a red color. Someone may see it as a bright red, someone may see it as a light pink, someone may take it as a bright darker shade of pink. If the child is saying something, he must be having some logic behind it. And we need to respect and we need to interact with the child, knowing that why the child has given this answer, first of all. Second, the important skill which comes is communication skills. If the child has a confidence level, the child starts communicating. And when the child starts communicating, we as a teacher, we as a motivator, we should never ever discourage a child. Because if a child is speaking out his mind, it becomes our moral duty to understand him. He's trying to share his views. Maybe his views are not as par with our understanding. I might have thought something in my mind and I put up a question. It's not very necessary that the child is going to answer in the same way. I might happen when a small child coming to the school, they start interacting, they start talking. This first of all, they speak in the language which is their mother language. Okay, and let the child speak up. The NEP says let the child speak, because when you think, the most important is we think in the language. Suppose I'm a Punjabi lady. If I think, my first thought starts developing in Punjabi language. So I'm more comfortable. If I'm trying to speak anything in Punjabi language, that means I am more comfortable in. Now you as a teacher, you as a school, we as a school, we are trying to teach another good language, because we feel that the personality grows if it's a plus point in the personality if the child, apart from the mother language, is knowing other languages also. Okay, so this communication skill, the way he speaks, the way he picks up goods, he selects the good words, he knows his vocabulary is increasing. At the moment he will have a good speaking skills. Now it's important for us to make good writing skills. How to develop the writing skills, teaching them in the different level. The art of teaching how to write good, how to speak good, whether it's the preliminary age, whether it's a middle age, whether it's a secondary age, or it's the senior secondary age, there's a variable. But I believe, like I'll tell you one thing very frankly speaking, if a child goes through the NCERT book right from class 1 to class 12, I'm talking of English, he or she doesn't have to learn English language at all, because everything is covered. Now, when everything is covered, then why is so many errors coming up? It's because how we are delivering things. How is the child picking up things? How is the child using up those things? The use of whatever the teacher is, whatever data the teacher is giving and whatever the data the student is taking, at times there are some gaps. Those gaps have to be understood individually. I have 30 students in my class, and every day I have a target of teaching them 5 new words. 5 new words, and now I give the liberty to a child that you use your 5 words as if it may happen. Like I use pretty. A child may say flower is pretty. A child may say it's pretty cold. A child may say it's pretty far away. A child may say, so this word simple pretty can be used in different way. This is their skill, understanding skill. This is their speaking skills. This is their writing skills. And for every answer, every different answer that I'm getting, because sometimes he's using as a noun, sometimes he's using as an adjective. So every time that the child is using this word, let the child explain you. And I tell you, every answer is correct answer. Because whatever the child has understood, he has written. Now, if I find that that particular answer needs to be modified, it becomes my prime duty to explain to the child the use of that particular word. So when you're talking of, you had put up a question that what skills do you think is very important in the Montessori section, in the primary section, in the middle section? I believe it's the speaking skills. I believe it's the writing skills. I believe it's a confidence level skill. I feel that it's the empathy skills. You know, the child starts collecting colors. The child starts understanding the value of nature. Like a child is left to pick up things, which things he picks up, which things he avoid, with whom he's comfortable, with whom he's not comfortable. Okay, what he writes. Okay, even if it is writing wrong, let him write.
True. Right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for when you were talking, I was actually thinking about the importance of skills. I was just, the words I'm sure Sudhir would be relating to it. The words like induction, microwave, solar panel, all these things were only restricted to students of physics or quantum physics who used to. But now these words have become common words even for the chaiwala who's on the streets, because he will put up a solar panel to charge his induction plate to make the tea or the Maggie. So, that skill, and he has not gone to any school, but the skill, his whole livelihood is dependent on his own skill. So, there's always a debate between knowledge versus skill, and that is what we are. And I'm sure it is the debate of chicken and egg, because both knowledge is important, but again, what kind of knowledge? Are we spoon feeding the child with information, or are we exposing him to a directed and conducted knowledge? With this, I would like Divyanshi. Hello, Divyanshi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I believe that what, in your opinion, because you are in class 12, and how do you think when you're preparing for your exams, what comes more handy to you? Is it your knowledge which you've been learning, rote learning, remembering, or is it some kind of skill that you are applying? Any skill that you have that you're applying to, enhance your knowledge? You can answer this, and then you can ask your question to whichever panelist you want to ask.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, along with knowledge, skill is also required as I'm in 12th. So, as for preparing for board examination, only education is not just a way, because it is not just a method. Because when it comes to physics, we have huge derivations, which we need to practice again and again. So for that, I need skills. So for as it is time taken also, but once I start preparing or solving it by rote learning, uh, once I prepare or write it for 5 to 6 times, it will be prepared. So along with learning it, practicing is also important. So I agree with along with knowledge, skill is required.
I'm sure Sudhir sir is going to contradict what you're saying, because what you are doing is another method of rote learning only. You're learning and practicing. Anyways, you can ask your question to, because you are with such great, experts, your principal ma'am, the other school principals, and then we have Sudhir sir, who's a great career counselor and a great, a professor. So you can, yes, whom your question is addressed to. And
So, ma'am, my question is from Sudhir sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Sudhir sir,
Sir.
first you please correct her, because what she's doing is, I'm sure, not the right thing.
Yes, yes. Yes, ask Vivian. Yeah, ask.
Sir, as today we have a heavy academic curriculum, so it
Yeah.
sometimes may clash with our skills. So, how does we balance between skills acquisition and a heavy academic curriculum?
See, the basic thing, what usually people learn, I mean, the academic curriculum or the subjects, how you people learn is, you will take a questionnaire, you will try to read out the answer or mug up the answer. Usually, this is what happened. Even I did that in my +2 standard or 10th standard. What I used to do is I used to search for important questions. I straight away I used to do that. First thing is how to learn the methodology is what you need to adapt is through questioning. The four basic questions you need to ask. Any topic you learn today, what, why, how, and who. The four questions which I repeat again: what, why, how, and who. Any topic, whatever you are learning today, it will be as simple as this. You take any general knowledge topic, you take any physics topic, why they are doing it, what are the reasons behind it, how they did it, who did it. Simple. Any topic you learn, you will remember it very easily. No need to buy hard or spend a lot of time. You can represent everything very easily, and you can not even revise also. It will be very easy to remember and produce that in exams. So this is my suggestion to give you. I hope I have answered, or do I have to give more in this regard?
No,
No,
sir.
no,
Thank you,
that-
sir.
Yeah. So moving on to Sakshi. Yes, Sakshi, tell us about yourself and which stream do you follow, and how can you create, how do you create a blend of your knowledge and the skills that you have? You can apply your skills and knowledge to better your, probably your immediate target is your board result, to better your board.
Um, Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So, ma'am, definitely, skills today in the world is very important for us. And for the board result, which, like, I definitely like what sir have said, that we should know the fact behind everything. Even in if we want to learn something, we should know the fact first. We just not memorize it. So for my board, as my stream is PCM plus Hindi as optional, so I used to do this only. I used to know the fact behind every laws. Like there is Newton's law in physics. So firstly, I used to get what the fact is. How did he find that? Not just that if in the book it is written about it, it is described. So I do not only memorize it, and like in that maths also, yeah, definitely I solved many questions. I have Adi Sharma in my house because it is important for us that we should solve these questions also, we should memorize the formula also. But before that, I literally like to know that how did that came. As our teachers panel in our school are very good. Our principal is also sitting here. She knows that every teacher, they first used to teach the student, and they first used to catch what is the skill that student have. as I have got the post of school pupil leader, so I think they have seen some skills in me. I don't think that they have gone to my results, that how much percentage I have got. So uh, skills are definitely a very important thing which makes us unique in this world. So ma'am, shall I ask a question? My question is to Sudhir sir.
Yeah,
All of you are
first
asking
thing,
to Sudhir sir. All of them.
No ma'am,
no, no, no.
anyone can reply.
First thing, Sakshi, I just want to tell you, when somebody made you an SPL, you should not tell they saw some skill. You should precisely say they saw this skill in me. You should know what skill they looked in. Okay, you should not tell they looked some
Fine.
skill.
Very good. And I would want to add here, Sakshi, your skill is what skill was which made you an SPL. Okay, identify 3 things which you feel made you the SPL of your school. I'm sure your communication skill is very strong. What else? Very quickly, 10 seconds. Which other skill do you have? Yes, Sakshi.
So my first skill is my speaking skill in front of everyone. Second, I take responsibilities very nicely. Like I handle it very clearly. Um, I don't think so much about.
Very
Others,
good.
my behavior to my juniors, and the one who is under me, whom I have to take for the work. I think that is so good that I easily handle everyone for the work and I distribute the duties very nicely. I think
Collaboration.
And all these, Sakshi, are skills, that these are your interpersonal skills, your collaborative skills, your managerial skills, and your communicative skills. That is why you have been given the position of SPL. Now, thank you so much. Can you all please put mics on mute? Yes. Please put your mics on mute. Thank you. My question to Sudhir, there's something, all documents, NEP also talks about vocational education, imparting vocational education, and it has also designated few hours for vocational, which I'm sure it's hinting at, some kind of hands-on experiences and credits will be imparted. But often there is, people don't have clarity on, is skill-based learning any different from vocational education?
No, ma'am, there is not much difference actually. During this vocational education also, they try to emphasize more on skills. Because, for example, to give a real life example, recently I met an AC mechanic in our university. I just asked him, so how much you make per day? So he completed his ITI diploma in as an electrician, and I just asked him. I used to go for around 3 houses, and I used to work on 3 ACs per day. The average amount which I get is 10K. So per day, his earnings is 10K working on 3 ACs. It's just purely based on skill-based work, where a lot of people doesn't have. Even a professional engineer today is not earning that much actually. Okay, so the vocational courses predominantly emphasize on how to learn that skill, or make them more prominent in learning that skills. So I feel in these vocational courses, people learn more skills than more theory. Actually, I know that I visited some ITI diploma schools and also where people emphasize more on the skills than theory. Okay, so where for them, so skill matters the most. If they have the skill, they'll get the placement. It's not the degree. So they emphasize more on the skills, because we think if I studied in a premier institute, whatever it is, I'll get a job. But it's a different scenario when we are learning about vocational courses. If you have the skill, then only you'll get the job. Otherwise, it's just a degree which you'll be having. Okay, so I feel vocational education is concentrating more on skills. That is what is happening in current day scenario. All these ITI and diploma schools are making these people learn these skills. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm sure, because under vocation also, what is honed are the various skills. The vocational training or skill-based learning is actually the same terms, the two different terms to the same kind of concept. I really hope I have not left any student who has not been part of. Piyush I think Piyush has not spoken on this. Piyush, would you like to? Yeah,
Ma'am, I had a question for Sudhir sir.
yeah.
So, yes, yes.
My question is basically related to the rote learning.
Okay.
Current aspirants are just learning and like forgetting the education they have gained after examinations. Then they again prepare for it and they again just forget it. So my question is
Yes.
basically, if the skill education is future of the tomorrow, then why does CBSE give weightage to this rote learning?
See, I'll tell you what. So, root learning. Do you consider any higher education institution now considering your plus two marks? Do you know they are not even considering your plus two marks for selection? They are considering now your plus two marks for only eligibility. Okay, so please do not think they are giving emphasis to more marks. And second, whatever you are learning today in your plus one and plus two, the same thing you will be learning in higher academics. Just you will learn these topics in a more deeper way. Okay, if lot of students struggle, if they are not under or understanding the conceptual knowledge which they are going through in their plus one and plus two, those are the students who struggle in plus one, I mean in higher academics. Lot of students, because today everything is coming on your plate. Why? Because your parents, your principals, everybody will come and say, "Beta, kya ho raha hai? Kya chal raha hai? Any problem? Should I help you?" They will call your parents. They will ask you, "Your son is not getting good marks. Should we help them?" All these things happen and they comes to you. But once you enter into higher education, there is a huge shift. Nobody is going to be there. You might be studying in a different city, state, or sometimes different country altogether. Then you need to understand whatever you have learned, that only will help you. Not everybody or somebody, you might make new friends, but it's entirely dependent on what you have learned until you're plus two. Okay, and do not think you are learning just for the sake of marks today doesn't matter. Okay, they might just help you to open an interview door. How you fare in that interview is entirely based on the skill which you are learning. So if you are learning a subject, try to learn it in a more meaningful way. Understand the concept, understand the underlying subject which is there, and don't just by heart or other things. And don't follow this route learning model just for the sake of marks. It can affect you down the line, because people can do that. A lot of people does that, mugging up things, replacing it in, I mean, replicating it in the exams, getting good marks, good percentiles. That's fine. But if you are unable to recollect or understand the concepts in your higher academics using the foundations which you had in your plus one and plus two, that is of use. I suggest concentrate more on the concepts. Don't follow this rote learning model. So that will be my solution.
Great.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think
That was
Piyush,
my question.
you got the answer of your question, Piyush?
No, ma'am, appreciate. Yes, ma'am, I got the answer.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We come to an end of this show, but before we leave and for the day, I would like our esteemed panelists to, in 10 or 15 seconds, to kindly convey their final message to educators, to students, or the people who are listening as to per se skill versus knowledge. Or if you want to amalgamate or whatever you want to convey to our audience today, what would be your one last resting statement for today?
When
Yes.
it comes to me, I would only say, Sudhir sir was very expert. I felt in giving the answer, satisfying the student at least. Yes, it's true. Knowledge without skill and skill without knowledge is absolutely nothing. We have a lot of knowledge and we don't have any skills to do, we land nowhere. This is like rote learning, and when actually into rote learning into our skills, I'm blank. So this happens only when there is knowledge and no skill learning. And I have a lot of skills, I don't have proper knowledge how to use it. Again, I'm blank, because I cannot be successful skilled person unless I have a proper knowledge too. So these two words are properly clubbed words, and both are incomplete without each other. And now it becomes our prime duty as a teacher in the schools, because we're working in the school level, how the students, right, coming from the home, from the primary school till class 12, 8, to make their subjects so easy for them that they can correlate their subjects with actual practical knowledge. If a child is taught about measuring liquid in liters and milliliters, the moment he sees a milk packet, he can see and say, oh, it is 500 ml, because he's correlating his knowledge with the packet, that actually how much milliliter it is. He knows how to convert. So this is actually a skilled knowledge.
Great.
So,
Thank you so much, Dr. Parminder. And I'm sure what you said, our audience would have grasped and will have a great takeaway from this. Yes, Ms. Neena Tiwari.
Like to see my students, whatever knowledge you are acquiring, whatever knowledge you are getting from your teacher, from school, from environment, kindly apply it. Because skill development helps to build a strong foundation for students at the school level. It helps to build self-esteem, confidence, leadership, and I mean, they can stand anywhere. They can use their skills, first acquire the knowledge very properly. And best of luck for your board exams.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Reena Tiwari. Yes, Mr. Sudhir Katumala, what would be your last statement and what tips would you like to give to class 12 students?
Yes, ma'am. So it was a very good
You
session.
also are a great career counselor. You can also give some
Yes.
tips. Yes.
Yeah. So my main suggestion to all the students is, whatever education today you are getting, that should help you prepare for your real life. Okay, not only your academic life, it should help you prepare for your real life. Otherwise, there is no point in spending this many fees or paying this many fees or attending schools and college. What is required in real life, I think already some of you might have already learned. You require a blend of both knowledge and skill to survive in current day scenario. Without these both, it's very hard for your survival. Either if you have knowledge but if you don't have skill, or either if you have skill but you don't have knowledge, it's very hard going forward. It will be very hard for you. Okay, consider the platform of this education, the wonderful teachers and principals that you have at your disposal. Use them wisely, learn the necessary skills, learn the necessary wisdom and knowledge, and use it for the benefit for yourself or fun for your career. That's what my suggestion is.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Sudhir. And on my part, I would like to say that the skill-based learning approach is, of course, based on your understanding and having a lot of experiences. But having said that, I would also like to say, quote, actually, that transformation, awareness is the beginning of transformation. And I'm sure all of you have become so aware today about the importance of honing the skills. And for you, the right kind of skills for the youth, not just class 12, the youth of today, it is very, very important to have certain survival skills, the skills of adaptability, the skills of being agile, being flexible, being resilient, having a grit, skills of collaboration. You should be ready to collaborate. You should be a communicator. You should be a problem solver, as you are the youth and you are the citizens of tomorrow. So apply and try and focus along with your academics. Try and get a lot of skill from wherever you can in terms of if you're required to do some internships, feel free to do that. You want to do online courses of any kind of learning skills, please feel free. Don't hold yourself back. Don't let anyone tell you. Taking accountability of your own life in itself is also a great skill. And yes, all the best to all the students. And for any questions or queries, you can always write to us on info@edudevs.com. Parallelly, you can reach out to Mr. Sudhir Katumala at, yes, Sudhir, sir? You can put it in the chat box. You're mute.
Actually, he was mute, so it was not audible.
Yes, yes. I'm just typing my email ID. So
Yes, you can feel free to reach out to him. And Edudevs has an amazing internship program about which we'll make you aware right now. Please feel free to register, to hone your skills, expand your capabilities, and sky's the limit. Thank you so much, and very, very grateful to Ms. Reena Tiwari and Dr. Parminder Sandhu and Mr. Sunil Katumala for sparing their valuable time and speaking to our audience today. Thank you so much. Please don't go away anywhere before you see this AV from Edudevs. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Sudhir sir.
thank you. Thank you.
And we have our parent counseling sessions, which are completely complimentary. As principals, we would like you to avail all the opportunities that Edudevs offers. Thank you so much.